I'd love to just kind of ask the both of you how it was that you guys got involved in this project. What's kind of the history of what made you want to be part of the Conjuring 4 or the Conjuring Last Rites, and what kind of led you to get cast or led you to get casting in this roles, and how did you guys meet for the first time?
Do you want to take it away, Orion?
Sure, yeah, I'll do a little chunk of that. Man, like so always been a fan of the franchise, always been a fan of all the Conjuring movies and going back to the very first one, seeing that and then seeing how it's spun out to, these different, Annabelles and Nun, like just all these different things. Um was so cool to see. And I think I always had a little bit of a connection because I always kind of looked like Patrick Wilson. So I always was looking at his career and like, oh yeah, like he's done so many great things and like these movies specifically are so great. Yeah, and getting connected to it was really just like, you get the audition and I think at first um the I forget exactly how it happened, but did the audition and then like 2 weeks later we had our callback and that was the first time we met was at the callback. And I'll let you take it away from here.
I'll take it from here. Yeah, the callback was incredible. We were the only people there, and Michael, the director, was already in England. So we were in person with casting, but doing a Zoom audition to Michael, and we filmed it from all these different angles, and it was incredible. And I think he really just wanted to, he was rooting for us. And the callback was 3 hours long. It was super intensive, but also amazing. So I mean, first time ever meeting Orion, and we just dove right in, and the rest, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. I love it. I love it. And Orion, you kind of touched on this, but that first Conjuring movie came out 12 years ago now in 2013, which makes me feel old as hell because I remember seeing that in theaters. But it's been 12 years since kind of this franchise has existed, has been part of the pop culture. Were you guys like fans of these movies and the first one like back in 2013? Like, did you see it in theaters and did you guys ever think there'd be a day when you're going to be in a Conjuring movie, kind of when that was like when this was starting off?
I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I remember seeing it and being scared, first of all, like right away, being like, whoa, they touched on something here that, hasn't been touched on by a lot of different movies. Um, yeah, so I think pretty much from the get-go, I was intrigued. I was a fan. And as they have come out through the years, definitely keeping up and yeah, just staying connected with the whole thing as they've come out.
Sure.
Yeah, I was always a fan as well, and I'm a scaredy cat, so they really work on me. But I definitely having to dive in deeper, I've become even more of a fan, and it's been really exciting to be a part of.
Mhm.
Sure, sure, totally. So there's been kind of a bit released about what we can expect from The Conjuring 4, The Conjuring Last Rites. We'll obviously find out in more when the month or when the movie hits theaters next month. But what can you tell me kind of about your roles as young Ed and Lorraine Warren in this movie? Is there anything you can tell me kind of what we can expect to see from you guys?
I don't think there's any specifics we can really give you, but I think definitely our involvement deepens the relationship of the couple. That
Mm,
I think that's my main takeaway from it is being able to see this couple that we've fallen in love with over the years, getting another glimpse at a different time in their lives. Really, for me, deepened my appreciation for who they are and who they are to each other.
sure, sure.
Mhm.
And so I think kind of touching on that, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say like we love the Conjuring movies because they're scary, they terrify us. It's the Annabelle will always be iconic now. But another
Yeah.
big deal of these movies has always kind of been the Ed and Lorraine relationship. Just like there's all this evil, like demonic stuff going on, but like at the heart, I've always kind of seen these movies as like a story about how these two guys really love each other. So how important was it for the two of you to kind of get that right? And what did the process of kind of bringing that relationship to life look like for the two of you?
Oh my gosh, I think it's everything. I think Vera and Patrick and Lorraine, they have done such an amazing job of creating so much heart behind these horror films. And you're There's a big love story amidst all of this chaos. And I think for us, it was super important to capture their connection. And they really just have each other's backs in such a beautiful way. And they understand each other like no one else can. And I think that was integral in executing their story. And for us in developing our relationship, it was like developing that rapport. And I feel so lucky to work with Orion, and I felt so supported by him. It was easy to fall into, but I think that kind of comfortability was crucial for playing them.
Sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, yeah, pretty much from the get-go in that callback, we were both on the same page of the importance of not only, the scenes and everything, but our relationship as Ed and Lorraine together and how integral that is to the entire movie.
Sure. No, totally, totally. And kind of jumping off that too, I mean, Vera and Patrick have been playing these roles since the first movie in 2013. So they've known like how to be Ed and Lorraine for a long time right now. How much of kind of a guiding light were they, kind of as you approached this movie and kind of came into the franchise? Like, were you often kind of talking to them and like watching them to make sure you got all those mannerisms right? Or was it more of a case where you kind of wanted to be them, but also wanted to have your own performance, so you kind of had to find a distance there?
I think they were immensely a guiding light for me. Definitely, like, getting advice from Patrick about the role and just talking through, even, yeah, like mannerisms, voice, like who these characters are, uh, was immensely important for me. And watching all the movies again, like from the perspective of, okay, like how has he done this? How has he created this character? Was so cool for me. And then, of course, the aspect of researching them as real people is a whole other rabbit hole.
Sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I think there was a lot of studying the work that they've done, where it's the way that Vera speaks as Lorraine and her facial expressions and mannerisms, they inform so much of who she is. So I definitely studied the performances a lot, but also Vera was so awesome. She's so cool and was such an open book and was like, if you have questions, ask them. And yeah, they were there for us. And also really empowering and super supportive of us kind of taking ownership over that portion of the story too.
Mhm.
Sure. Oh, totally. Now that you guys have kind of come into the franchise, you've caught up with it and everything, do you have like a favorite Conjuring movie in the whole Conjuring universe that sticks out to you? Or like maybe one that's underrated? Because I know I love the first movie and everyone loves the first movie, but I also think the second one's really underrated. Like I think more people should talk about that one because I think it's great. Do you guys have like a favorite one like that?
I think I'm gonna double up on yours, especially being in London while we were filming, like being in England. The
Yes.
fact that the second one's set in England felt like almost nostalgic for me, and I would go like to the local pubs and be like, "Tell me all your ghost stories." And so they go and they tell me all these different stories, and I'd be like, "Wow, this is so cool." To then revisit the second Conjuring movie, where it's set there, it was fun for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I have become a fan of all of them for different reasons. I think the first one is so classic to me. I'm like this you just I don't know. I'm like it's perfect. Um, but they all have their own flavor and it's so cool because they're exploring these different hauntings. So they're in different environments. There's something different to love about all of them. But I agree with the sleeper second one. More people need to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, totally, totally. I love all of them, but I love that one especially. I think they're great.
So
Mhm.
good.
And so this new one is obviously directed by Michael Chaves, who did the third one and has done some other Conjuring universe stuff like The Nun 2. And you've also got James Wan kind of producing and co-creating the story, who's obviously been involved with the franchise since the very beginning. And I'd kind of love to know what it's like kind of working with these two, with both James and Michael, and kind of what they both bring to the table at this point when we're making the fourth and potentially final Conjuring movie.
It was amazing. I mean, Michael is so knowledgeable and intentional, but so supportive as a director. Working with him, I felt so free to try things. And he has such a strong vision, but he also is like very nurturing and encouraging. And it was amazing working with him. He's incredible. And he loves horror and he loves making movies so much. It's very an infectious energy that he has.
Mhm. Sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, yeah, working with Michael just yeah, his love of horror was infectious. Like it was just it made it so much more enjoyable. And just like meeting James Wan, like, you know, even just him and shaking hands with Peter Safran, it's like, wow, to be around such incredible minds and such great creatives was so cool.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I would be blown away, I'm sure. So that's awesome. And then just one last question for the two of you. The Conjuring: The Last Rites is supposed to be the main or the last movie in the main Conjuring franchise. And I mean, there's a whole world of spin-offs out there. We've got Annabelle and the Nun. I know there's been some talk about a potential TV show at some point. I know there's probably stuff you can and can't say, but are you guys open to returning to this world, kind of as Ed and Lorraine, if future stuff does come along?
I mean, I love this world so much. I think it's just so fun to be a part of. And yeah, I mean, it's been incredible being a part of this one, and who knows what the future holds, but it's been amazing. And I would, yeah, I love living in it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like, you know, any connection with this franchise, these movies, these characters is just such a gift. So even just to have a small fingerprint on this movie is like incredible.
Totally.